Yeah, it's pretty good. But speaking of pretty good, we also have a little bit of a PvZ here with a bit of a surprising score so far. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE. We have the pink Protoss player currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Coming out from Hong Kong, he is the Kong from Hong Kong. He is Bistork.
Oh my god. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have our Indian Zerg doing his best Filipino impression here. He's red, representing Alpha X, going for that 12 pool opening. It is Demi.
Watch the micro. Very good scout coming out from Bistork. Super crucial. Now it's just all about crisis management back at home.
Yeah, exactly. He sees now he needs to wall off. Bearing in mind, we are on Lightshade, so the Russian distance by ground is relatively short, so these things are going to be zooming across the map. What's also important is that getting a wall off isn't the end of it. So you still need to micro well, you still need to make sure you keep your zealots alive and even, you know, get a backup zealot as well. There are some players who even decide to pull a couple of probes because this isn't just 6-lings, these are 8-lings.
Aye. Definitely Bistork is taking this very, very seriously, not trying to risk getting a early natural base or anything that we've seen from a couple of other Protoss players. He knows he needs to take this threat seriously, so he is.
Exactly. And he keeps his probe here. He's calling out his first zealot. The wall will be a wall, but Demi will start chipping away at some of these buildings. There it is. He does focus on the gateway, a little bit on the cyber core as well.
Oh, that's a very ambitious zealot.
Oh god.
Very ambitious zealot. A couple of more probes that start to come down just to provide a little bit of a buffer, and hopefully they're able to mineral walk and start getting some rounds on these Zerglings. Will affect his mining a little bit, but the important thing is just staying alive.
Exactly. Like if he didn't pull the workers like that, he would have lost the gateway by now. And then the things may have gotten out of control. Oh my god, people!
Oh no, both zealots gets around it light. Sure, the adepts are about to get out, but oh my.
Oh god. Bistork, please. He thought it was safe, and thankfully he is, right? He only lost one zealot. The adepts do come out, but that was scary.
I really don't know how he was able to make it out there with one zealot and 3 probes, like, oh man.
And this counterattack is dangerous because Demi, his gases were delayed. He does not have link speed. He only has a queen to work with, so because of this, it's going to be really difficult to get any mining done whatsoever here at the natural.
Yeah, thankfully there aren't any drones to pick off here in that natural base, so at least Demi won't be losing too much there, but at the same time, it does mean that he's not mining.
Yeah, exactly. There's now one drone here. Oh, a couple more, actually.
This screen's starting to get really low.
It is. It really is. But yeah, it will survive for now.
Yeah, you'll love to see that, Bistork considering juking back in with that shade, but nah. Just wants to keep these adepts alive, just in case. Has a little bit of map control.
Exactly. And that's a little bit more valuable here, especially because there's no link speed, right? So these adepts are still dangerous and pose a threat to the slowlings, especially off of creep. So Demi is stuck at home, and Bistork is teching on up, getting into his game, and going for that Stargate.
Yeah, a little bit of a messier start than I think Bistork would have liked, but this is eventually where him and most other Protoss players go to for their opening.
Exactly. And I'm really curious to see what his opening will be exactly. Like, is he going to try and go for some oracles first to maintain that map control and deal some economic damage, or is he going to go straight into that void ray?
And apparently it's going to be that void ray, yeah. Stevie does decide to get the oracle, as he said, after this void ray, you know, try to be even deadlier to the workers across the map, or I don't know. See how Bistork is feeling today, whether we're seeing the very harassment-focused Bistork or the slightly more passive Bistork that just wants to go for a more of a mid-game timing.
Exactly. And, there it is. Oracle after the Void Ray.
Good to see. Not too much anti-air here again, just going for that 12 full open, and did set Demi back a little bit when it came to getting his economy up and running, getting his defenses up. But he's definitely getting there before this Oracle makes it.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the Lings are coming across the map. There are Adepts here in a beautiful position, and the Oracle will pop out and, if need be, will help defend against these Lings.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Lings. What's the Void Ray doing?
The Void Ray does turn around. There we go. The Oracle turns around as well. And honestly, this is a bit of a win for Demi. You know, forces the Oracle to waste some energy at home.
Yeah, the energy's gonna continue to tick down a little bit. Oh, he actually took it off of the pulsar beam. Never mind.
He's on it, mate.
Very nice indeed. Only a single Oracle, so Bistork has to be super careful of his micro, but he is, so far, being very careful, not overextending himself at all. He wants to keep this Oracle alive in case he needs Stasis Wards or in case he needs Revelations later on.
Exactly. At the same time, Lings try and test the third base once again, but there's a Void Ray here, so Bistork will be able to defend, and there's not just one Void Ray, we have a second on the way, as well as a second Stargate.
Huh, interesting. The second Stargate, but also the Robo Bay. Eventually, Bistork wants to go into Disruptors, but for now, he seems to be a little bit more Void Ray focused.
Yeah, I think what's important is that the Disruptors haven't started. I think this is a little bit late by Bistork. Maybe he should have gone for the Robotics Bay first, because the Queen March is coming. More Queens are on the way. Disruptors defend beautifully against Queen Roach Ravager pushes, but they're not done yet. They're going to be a while.
That they are. Bistork only now realizing, oh, you're going for it, and I don't have my Disruptors yet. Throws down as many shield batteries and even a couple of cannons as he can afford. He needs them more than ever. Void Rays do all right defending against Queen Roach, but you need the battery backup.
Yeah, exactly. You need that beef, and Bistork, can he even stroke it as the Ravagers are piling down on a bunch of these shield batteries already, as well as the cannons being forced to cancel.
Oracles are starting to get really low as well. So far, none of the Void Rays have gone down. There's a bit of a win here for Bistork, but oh no, he's fooling the boys. Like, that's a sign of desperation.
He has to, but you know what? He bought enough time. The first Disruptor is out. How good is the shot going to be?
Come on, it's a little bit late to split. Oh, but actually it only gets about two or even just one Ravager.
That was one, mate. That was only one. He totally could have gotten three there, but in the other, only one. One is not good enough. Meanwhile, the Queens have run out of energy. They cannot transfuse any longer, but it looks like the third base will go down.
Yeah, the Queens have run them out of energy, but so have the shield batteries. That was a good Purification Nova, but Bistork needed that about 10 seconds earlier.
He really did. Now he's going to be able to chase all of this down, to be fair, so a lot of Queens are going to fall behind this Demi expanded. He's taking a fourth base. Ooh, he even turns around.
Yeah, he knows he can fight this, especially since the Protest army is out of the range of shield batteries. Her Lings are trying to slip in. Don't think they're going to get it. That was a juicy connection to the Purification Novas. And just a lot of these Lings back.
Yeah, exactly. The Lings, they get some rounds on the Disruptors, and looks like the Disruptors will go down. So will the Immortals. There's nothing to buffer for them.
Yeah, thankfully Void Rays don't need much of a buffer, but unfortunately they also don't do too much damage against non-armored units.
Yeah, and that was a hefty loss, mate. Two Disruptors and an Immortal essentially went down for free there. Again, there weren't any Zealots to help keep them alive, and sure, Bistork is pushing this away, but he's stuck on two bases, mate.
Yeah, losing that third base twice is really starting to eat into his economy. Meanwhile, Demi is just running all the way to the bank here with his fourth base already starting to get saturated a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the third base is 100% saturated. The fourth, there we go. Drones are on the way. So, yeah, Demi, he's like, economically, he's looking perfectly fine. And Demi is doing what Demi does best, and he's switching into mutas.
May as well. What better way to deal with the Void Rays?
What better way to just end the game, mate, at this point? Lings, oh my god, almost catching the Disruptor.
Yeah, Adepts are there to defend, but there's nothing defending these Void Rays, mate.
Yeah, the Void Rays are here, and the Queens are enough to push them away by time as 13 mutas are being produced. 15, 16. Let's just keep going.
Pretty soon we're getting to the Apocalypse of Mutas.
Yeah, and these Void Rays aren't going to do anything about them. They need to scout this. He needs to know to switch into Phoenixes, and finally the Mutas reveal themselves.
But not before the Void Rays. Most of the Void Rays are being picked off by the Mutalists themselves. That's got to be game. It's 81 army versus 36 here, Light.
Yeah, only 2 Void Rays survive with their lives, and what shoots up? Those 2 Void Rays and Phoenixes that are only just now being produced. And there's no way for Bistork to catch up. He doesn't have Phoenix range either, so it's so difficult to micro against these Mutas and keep the Phoenixes alive. Speaking of the Mutas, they're here. They're in the main.
And they are the completely defenseless main, I might add. Very few pylons, so many of them are Tosis pylons even. More Void Rays start to fall. And Demi's 2 reinforcing Mutas are, funnily enough, taking out the Phoenixes in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. Both Stargates get depowered. No more Phoenixes for Bistork, and now the Mutas, they reign supreme here. They only have 2 Phoenixes to deal with, and I mean, what the hell are 2 Phoenixes going to do, mate?
They're going to try, but I don't think it's going to accomplish too much. More pylons get taken out as they start warping in.
Yeah, exactly. Bistork, what can you do from here? I guess maybe send that across the map. He's trying to catch some reinforcements with his 2 Phoenixes, which, I mean, he picks up a couple of Mutas, right? This is some good micro, but
Good ain't good enough.
Yeah.
All the workers starting to fall. Demi gets a 5th base, because why not? Just really trying to secure his win here. Just in case, Bistork somehow got access to Scourges.
I mean, he threw away a lot of Mutas. 11 Mutas have gone down. Like, that's pretty significant. And you know what? With the help of these cannons and these shield batteries, like, the Phoenixes are not dying.
For now.
It's one of those things where Demi just has to wait out the overcharge, and once the overcharge runs out, he can just dive on in. Here we go. Mutas are looking for another way in. Demi, as you were saying, he doesn't want to throw his lead away. That's the hard thing about Mutas, is that if something like a storm came in, or some Archons were waiting behind something, he could lose everything. But
yeah, and Demi is absolutely being as cautious as possible. He doesn't know the tech that Bistork is going for, aside from what he saw in the main base and earlier on. Doesn't need to be, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. Another Phoenix goes down. Just one at a time they fall, mates. Meanwhile, we do have a couple extra Stargates here, so Bistork, he does still have some way to produce these Phoenixes, and he can just continue to pumping them out as much as possible. I would love to see Demi switch into something else other than Mutas, to be honest, but you know what? He's just...
I wouldn't. I want to see the Master at work here.
Oh, God.
Watch this. He's getting Hive just for +3 flyer weapons.
Yeah. Who needs a Viper, mate?
Definitely not Demi. I imagine not Jim Rising either. All the Muta Kings.
There we go. The Mutas, they force themselves into the natural base, depowers the newest Stargates, and keep them depowered. GG gets called, and Demi ties up the series 1-1.
That he does. One more map to determine who faces Runamuck in that semifinals. As Bistork just wanted to practice his micro towards the end there. Might as well, it's not often you'll be in a scenario of Phoenix versus Mutas, so might as well practice when you have the opportunity.
Yeah, I would say more, he's just styling on his opponent a little bit, because why not? And now we're tied up. This series could still go either way. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cast game number 1 between these two. We don't really know what happened and how Bistork was able to pull that off. Game 2 was a very unique game just because of the opener. It was a 12 pull into a massive commitment into Lings, into the Roach Queen push, and Bistork was just a little bit unprepared for that.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Bistork had that game until he got the second Stargate before the Robo Bay, or
yeah,
I guess maybe that's normal, but the timing he got that as was very wonky. Not at all prepared for the Queen March, as you said. And yeah, I mean, we don't know what Bistork did in game number 1 to take it, but I think just watching Bistork for the past couple of months, you know, we don't have to do any crazy speculation saying about like, oh my god, what if he did this proxy and this specific map and this one? It's like, you know, I would definitely give Bistork a bit of credit in that regard.
Yeah, definitely.
So getting up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where Demi versus Bistork could have very easily been a semifinals match. Unfortunately, they face in the quarterfinals. Only one will move on to face Runamuck, and the other, their run ends here and now. Oh boy, so we'll wait and find out who that is. Meanwhile, we just got an update. Starduck versus Dash did end. It went all the way to the ace match, and Starduck, as well as Gogo Joey, are waiting in the lower semifinals.
Ooh, another ace match coming in here from our quarterfinals. Very evenly matched players in 2 of these series. And now he's going up against Gogo Joey, which is a little bit worrisome for Starduck. Gogo Joey has definitely had his number a little bit in the past, but regardless, I cannot wait to catch that PvZ, which we are going to cast as we cast both semis.
We do. So if you want some Starduck on Joey action, we'll have it right after this series, I imagine. So we'll give the winner of this series a little bit of a break. Runamuck, he's already been on a bit of a break, unfortunately. Yeah. That's where we'll go.
So it's all good. I'll just, I don't know, annoy probe or something. I don't know what Runamuck does in spare time. But anyway, we are continuing our series, concluding it, funnily enough, on 2000's atmosphere. LE, why do I live this way?
This is my last resort.
Different songs, but I was hoping you'd go in with so over the money. Actually, don't remember the exact line, but something along those, something like that. Regardless, coming up from Hong Kong. Like, yes, that's
must be the money. That's it.
Yeah, it's the line. Yeah, I was hoping you would go for that. Regardless, our pink protest player from Hong Kong, he's Bistork.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, we have the Indian Zerg player. He is red, representing Alpha X. This time not opening up with a 12 pool. It is Demi.
Yeah, still a little bit hatchery blocked here, which is always annoying, especially in 2000 atmospheres, but if I know anything about Demi, he's more than used to it happening.
Oh, yeah. This is a very standard thing that happens in this matchup nowadays for quite some time now. So I'm sure Demi's not feeling too bad about it. I'm really curious to see if Bistork will even take the bait and try and go for something like Glaven Eps here because of it.
I could hear the PTSD in your voice, like your Zerg PTSD. You're like, yeah, this is a very common thing nowadays. We Zerg players have to deal with it.
We're used to it by now. It's like, you know, it's like being in an abusive relationship. At some point, it just becomes normal, you know, and we just deal with it, mate. You know, we just get the pile into the natural. It's just the natural isn't a thing anymore.
The third base is a new natural. If you get the natural at the natural base location, then really, what is wrong with you?
Well, that's unnatural.
Oh
god.
Standard is unnatural.
Meanwhile, I do see that there are some people in the chat asking, you know, what happened to Miyamika. Miyamika, I hope he's okay. We didn't message him and he hasn't responded, so either he is away from his computer or he's asleep. It's one or the other.
Yeah, hopefully it's one of the other of those things. In my mind, he just wanted to give Lord Loken like a taste of being like, because Lord Loken is currently here watching. He did contribute a little bit to the prize pool once again. But I think we've established that the reason why Miyamika wasn't around for the past couple of 10 minutes was specifically because Lord Loken wasn't there to watch.
Yeah, Puppy Loken hasn't been around, and to be fair, it's understandable, right? We're during the week instead of a weekend, and especially for someone based in one of like in the northern hemisphere, like in North America, then it's kind of rough to tune into these, unless there's like a I don't know, like a long weekend or something like that in the middle of the week, like a public holiday. But yeah, it's great to see Lord Loken back in chat. It's been a while.
Absolutely is. I'm sure me and Micah feels the same way. If he wasn't asleep.
Exactly. And we'll see who can benefit from it. Meanwhile, ooh, we did have a Stargate opening. This Void Ray has been doing some work, you know, is hunting for those overlords to keep this Twilight Council hidden.
Yeah, very different build coming up from Bistork this time. To be fair, I think he does have a couple of different styles he likes to cycle between, but yeah, you might as well go for that Twilight Council, I guess, after you bait out in a natural second base.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. This should be a little bit more of a committed, adept attack. Meanwhile, interesting, Demi, he has an Evo chamber hidden in his main base. He's working on +1 melee.
Knowing Demi, are we going to see that lair soon? And actually knowing Bistork, what? Okay, so it's not going to be Adepts, but I'm liking what I see regardless.
Okay.
Jeez, it's been a while since we've seen Bistork really embrace his inner Dark Templar boy.
Yeah, so I kind of like this. I don't 100% like this. So, as we see, a massive Ling flood is coming, and Archons are a great way to deal with Lings and Banelings as well. But we need some more in the DTs first, and we need plenty of Archons to deal with this. And so far, Bistork hasn't seen this at all.
And he has not only sees a couple of queens by that natural base location. Now he sees a couple of Lings moving out. Does he realize what's coming his way, though?
I don't think he does, mate. He caught a glimpse of some Lings, but now the rest of the Lings are across the map. At the same time, some workers are falling here, and ooh, Demi comes back home with everything.
Yeah, super important that Bistork was able to slip these Adepts in. Every single Ling comes back to try to deal with this. And that buys Bistork quite a lot of time. 4 DTs are being warped in now. Will they morph into Archons? Again, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Bistork's quite aware.
Well, I don't think he's
aware, but
I don't think it's clicked in his mind. Like, he saw the Baneling nests and he saw the Lings, but like he's not really responding at home. Meanwhile, the queens are being pulled as well.
Very committed coming out from Demi here. Very committed coming out from Bistork as well. I feel like at this point, Bistork should kind of know what's coming his way, but he just wants to do as much damage as possible before being forced to recall, right? Maybe?
Yeah, he's setting up at home.
He's forcing Demi all in. Yep.
Yeah, we have more shield batteries and cannons at the third base, but the Lings are rushing on forward. Is there enough to defend? The thing is that all you need is a couple of DTs. There's no mobile detection. There's no lair.
No, there's no lair. Just realizing that, yeah.
Mates.
Very nice SimCity here for Bistork as well. The shield battery still have power, and look at all that energy on that Nexus light. There is more than enough for battery overcharge on any one of these shield batteries. He only has one, but he only needs one.
And there we go. The overcharge is being used. Nothing is dying here, mate. And the DTs get recalled, not the Void Rays. And the DTs are all you need to defend.
Yeah, Demi can transfuse as much as he likes, but these queens are going to go down. It's up to these Lings to do as much damage before that. Doesn't matter in the end. GG is called. Bistork makes it to the semifinals to face Run Amok. Oh boy, we didn't get to see what happened in game number 1, but I have to imagine it was something similar. What a PvZ that we've seen here, like
something similar in terms of being chaotic, because Bistork, he's a special breed of Protoss, where he comes out with a Dark Shrine follow-up to the Twilight Council, and like
I love it.
It was like, again, he didn't know that Demi was like avoiding lair and all this stuff. Like, he didn't know how much damage it was going to deal. He did eventually spot the all-in coming, sure, but like things just worked out so well for him with those DTs.
Yeah, I feel like normally if you're going up against Demi, you would also just assume that he's going for that lair, because, you know, he is the Muta King. of the region, the absolute cojones on Bistork to commit to those ZTs. My god, I am very much looking forward to what he pulls off against Runamok in that PBT. I feel like Runamok has definitely been working on his own TBT for a while now in preparation for ANZ Champ, so yeah, he still has all that practice under his belt. He's still pretty fresh, but before that, we're going to go into a PVZ, Gogo Joy versus Starduck. As both players have been waiting for a little bit of time.